So Algebra 2 Test 4 study guide through lesson 1.6. First one says, which number is a solution of the inequality? So what you're going to want to do is plug these numbers in. 2 times 7 minus 2, well, 7 minus 2 is 5. 2 times that is 10. So for the first one, you have 10 is greater than 8. That's a true statement. The next one, 8 times 7 minus 8. 7 minus 8 is a negative 1 times 8. That's going to give you something that's a negative number. Negative 1, 7 minus a negative 1 is going to be 7 plus 1, which is 8. But then it multiplies by a negative, so it comes back to being a negative value. And then 0 minus 7 is 0 when you multiply that by 7. So all of these don't work. The only one that does work when you plug in is 2. Write the inequality in words. Well, if you read it out loud, you would read that as 5n, 5, not fin, 5n, or 5 times n, minus 10 is greater than 26. There you go, in words. 5n or 5 times n. Write an inequality for the graph. Well, you have a number, you have x, and you have the number 6. It's an open bubble, and it's showing everything to the right, so it's showing everything that's larger, so it's going to be greater than. And it's an open bubble, so it's not or equal to. It's simply x is greater than 6. Number 4 says simplify by combining like terms. Negative 3c minus 8c is negative 11c. Positive 8d plus 9d is plus 17d. Negative 3 times negative 3y minus 4, you have to distribute. Negative 3 times negative 3y is 9y positive. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12 minus 7y. Put your y's together, 9y and negative 7y. 9 minus 7 is 2y plus 12. Negative 7y plus 20 equals negative 7 minus 8y. Put your y's on the left-hand side or bring your smaller one over to your large one. Your smaller one is negative 8. So add 8y. If you add it there, add it here. Negative 7 plus 8y is going to be positive 1y. Plus 20 is still there, equals negative 7 is still there, and it's canceled here. Get rid of plus 20 by subtracting it on the left. Do it here. Negative 7 minus 20y equals negative 27. Simplify the right side of the equation first. 5 times y is 5y. 5 times negative 6 is minus 30. Bring the rest down. Negative 4y minus 4 equals, left side equals the right side. Bring the smaller y value over to the larger one. Negative 4 is smaller than positive 5. So undo minus 4y by adding it. If you do it there, do it here. 4y plus 5y is going to be 9y. Bring down minus 30 and bring down, we still have negative 4 here. The other part's canceled. 9y is on the right, so bring the negative 30 over to the left. It says minus 30, so undo that by adding it. If you add it there, add it here. Negative 4 plus 30 is going to be a positive 26 equals 9y still. This will cancel out. Get rid of 9 times something by dividing by 9. If you divide the right, divide the left, and see if there's one number that goes into both of those. It does not. Therefore, y equals 26 over 9. Six times x minus 0.8 minus 0.2 times 5x minus 4 is equal to negative 2. Distribute 6 times x is 6x. 6 times negative 8 is negative 4.8. Distribute negative 0.2 times 5x is negative 1.0x. Negative 0.2 times negative 4 is positive 0.8. Combine your like terms. You have 6x minus 1x is going to be 5x. And you also have negative 4.8 plus 0.8 is going to be negative 4. Now you have your 5x by itself on the left. Only one x term, so let's move our minus 4 over by adding it. Negative 2 plus 4 is going to be positive 2. We still have 5x on the left. Get rid of 5 times something by dividing by 5. You do it to the left, do it to the right. X equals 2 over 5. Number 9 says 8 equals x over 8 minus 4. Undo. Remember, you work your order of operations backwards. You undo addition and subtraction first. So you undo minus 4 by adding it. If you do it to the right side, do it to the left side. 8 plus 4 is 12 equals x over 8, or x divided by 8. Cancel out divide by 8 by multiplying by 8. If you multiply the right Multiply the left side by 8. 8 times 12 is going to be 96. And these will cancel and leave you with x's value at 96. Number 10 says 4 plus 8n equals 60. Again, you have addition to get rid of first. The plus or the positive 4, you undo that by subtracting 4. If you do it there, do it to the right side. You have 8n equals 56. Get rid of 8 times something by dividing by 8. Do it to the right. N is 7. Distribute first. 4 times y and 4 times 5. Undo the plus 20 before you undo the multiplying of 4. Subtract 20. 4y equals 24. Get rid of 4 times something by dividing by 4, and y equals 6. Solve for the variable asked for, t. So it says s equals 6 times r cubed times t. So that's all of that says multiply. So if you want to reread it, it says s equals 6 times r cubed times t. So there's no addition and subtraction to undo first. So you want to undo the multiplying of each of these three. So divide by 6 and by r cubed, because t is the one we want to get by itself. That'll cancel it all out over here on this side. If you divide the right side by that, you have to do the same operation on the left. Divide by 6 and by r cubed. It leaves you with s over 6r cubed is equal to t. Do the same thing for number 13. T equals 2u over e. Do it for u. So it says 2 times u divided by e. Undo divide by e first. So it says t equals 2 times u divided by e. Undo the division of e by multiplying by e. If you multiply the right, multiply the left by e. E times t is et equals 2 times u. Undo 2 times something by dividing by 2. If you do it to the right, do it to the left. And u, not that, and u, since this cancels out, is equal to e times t over 2. 14 says simplify this. Negative 3 plus 5 squared. Negative 3 plus 5 squared is 25. 3 minus 5 is going to be negative 2. Okay. So negative 3 plus 25 is positive 22. Right next to negative 3 cubed, negative 2 cubed. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, times negative 2 is negative 8. So you have 22 right next to negative 8. Well, actually, it won't be right next to it in this case. The parentheses will disappear here. So you have 22, and then it says minus 8. 22 minus 8 will be 14. 4 f of x equals 5x minus 5. Find f of 3. So f of 3 equals 5 times 3 minus 5. All you did was plug it in. You leave this saying f of 3. You don't change that. It just acts like y. 5 times 3, you do that first. You get 15 minus 5. So f of 3, or y, equals 10. Graph the equation. Y equals 5 over 3x plus 3. Okay, you can graph this right here. This says y equals mx plus b. B tells you where to begin. That's your y-intercept. This is your y-axis, the one going up and down. So it says to begin at positive 1, 2, 3. So that's where your first point's going to begin, right there. Your m value is your slope. It tells you where to move. It says 5 over 3. Remember, it's rise over run. Rise, you're either going to go up or down. It's positive, so we're going to go up. So from the point we already have, we're going up 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the bottom number, it tells us to run either left or right. It's positive, so we're going to run to the right. So 1, 2, 3. So up 5 and to the right 3 times. Now you have 2 points, and you can create your line through the both of those. Sketching the equation. 17 says find the slope, so does 18. So our slope right here, we can see it's a negative value because it's a ramp going down. So remember, it's rise over run, either up and down, over, left and right. So from this point, it's highlighted for you, you go down once, twice to get to the other one. Down twice is negative 2. And to the right once, that's positive 1. So the slope of this equation is negative 2, which is the same as negative 2 over 1. This is x and this is y. This is x and this is y. This is sub 1 because it's 0.1. This is sub 2 because it's 0.2. Your slope formula says the change of y, so y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So it's talking about the difference of them, the change of them, over the change of x, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. If you plug them in that exact same order, it's really easy. Y sub 2 is 11, minus y sub 1 is 1. X sub 2 is negative 6, minus x sub 1 is negative 9. Minus a negative, look at the bottom right there, means plus a positive. 11 minus 1 is 10. Negative 6 plus 9 is 3. Your slope of that one is 10 over 3. That means go up 10 and to the right 3 times. Simplifying these says negative 2 plus a negative. Plus a negative means minus. Negative 2 minus 10 is negative 12. 4 times negative 2, opposite signs, is going to be negative. 4 times 2 is 8. 21 divided by 3, same signs, is going to be positive 7. Divide these fractions. In order to divide fractions, you leave the first one, you change it to multiplication, and you flip the second one. 8 over 40 becomes 40 over 8. You can cross cancel this to deal with smaller numbers. 8 goes into itself once and into 40 5 times. Multiplying straight across, 7 times 5 is 35. 1 times 8 is 8. Write 612 miles in 13.6 hours as a rate in simplest form. Well, rate equals distance over time, or speed equals distance over time. Well, our distance measurement is 612. So 612 miles over our distance, our time measurement is 13.6 hours. So our rate is going to be 612 divided by 13.6. When you do that, your rate is 45 miles per hour. 25 says name the property, 6 and 7. Negative 4 times x plus 3 becomes negative 4x minus 12. You distribute that negative 4, so that's the distributive property. Pi times 15 equals 15 times pi. Notice nothing changes except the order that they're multiplied in. They commute from one spot to the other spot. So this is the commutative property, and it's of multiplication. And the last one says negative 4.4 plus 0 is still equal to negative 4.4. Its identity doesn't change from the beginning to the end. That is the identity property, and it is of addition, you can see. Evaluating these expressions for the given value of the variable. It says a is negative 2, b is 5. Negative 2 times a plus 2 times b. Negative 2 times negative 2 plus 2 times 5. Multiply first. Negative times negative is positive 4. Positive 2 times positive 5 is plus 10. The addition next. 4 plus 10 is 14. And for some reason we have nothing there, so we'll leave number 29 off. Number 30 says x squared plus 8x minus 5 when x is 3. So 3 squared plus 8 times 3 minus 5. 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. Plus 8 times 3 is 24 minus 5. 9 plus 24 is going to be 33. Minus 5 is 28. Okay. 2x cubed plus x squared plus 2x plus 2 when x's value is negative 2. 2 times negative 2 cubed plus negative 2 squared plus 2 times negative 2 plus 2. Just plug them all in. Do your exponents first. Negative 2 cubed is going to be negative 2 times negative 2. Positive 4 times one more negative 2 is negative 8. That times 2. Negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, so it's going to be a positive 4. 2 times negative 2 is going to be minus 4 and plus 2. Finish up your multiplication. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16 plus 4, minus 4 plus 2. Negative 16 plus 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 4 is negative 16 again. And that plus 2 is negative 14 is what you should finish with.